All of us are born with an intrinsic desire to govern ourselves. One of the first words we learned to say was no, and we meant it. We don't like being told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. But those who are wiser than us convinced us not to touch the hot stove or play in the busy street, despite our protestations. We are mostly undamaged today because of their concern for our well-being. But we still crave autonomy, the freedom from external control or influence. We want to make our own decisions and judgments, even if we have to pay unhappy prices for those decisions. But that is how we grow and improve and get better at this whole life thing. So let's figure out how we can demonstrate to ourselves and others that we can be autonomous individuals who aren't dependent, incompetent, subordinate, inept, or helpless, at least to one degree or another. Let's develop more of this virtue called autonomy. Here's the definition of autonomy that we'll use in the readings and assignments for this virtue. Autonomy is the condition of being independent, self-governing, and self-correcting. You take responsibility for your own life, live by a personalized code of conduct, and determine which path you wish to tread throughout your life. So how do we do that? First, practice nonconformity. That's a pretty radical thing to say, but hear me out. Independence carries with it the notion of ignoring the pressure to conform and following the dictates of your own conscience. Sometimes that means that you need to ignore the noise from the world around you and be willing to move to the beat of your own drum and act in non-conforming ways. When are those times? And when is it okay to do what others are doing rather than doing your own thing? We'll talk about these things. Next, govern yourself. Throughout most of human history, people acquire their sense of self-identity and purpose of life through the groups to which they belonged, such as their family, tribe, or religion. But with the arrival of Greek philosophy and the notion of self-rule, if we are capable of making decisions that don't affect others in negative ways, then we are encouraged to govern ourselves. Next, correct your mistakes. If we want to be autonomous, then we must assume the responsibility to fix our own mistakes and clean up our own messes, rather than rely on others to do it for us. We must be aware and accepting of the rules, rights, and responsibilities that govern autonomous behavior. Next, set your code of conduct. We need to establish a personal code of conduct that governs how we live our lives. It defines our goals and divulges our preferences. It sets limits on the things we will do and not do. It reflects our beliefs and general attitudes. When we are morally unsure what to do in a situation, we could look to our personal code of conduct, which will steer us in a direction that aligns with our values. Next, invest your autonomy. This means that we are willing to pay the price for our decisions. Our prisons are filled with people who refuse to accept the responsibilities that come with autonomy, and so they lose it for a while. We need to be willing to accept the consequences of our autonomous actions, whether they be good or bad. We need to think about possible consequences before we make an investment. Sixth, control your power. As an autonomous individual, you possess the power to think and feel whatever you want. No one can force their values or beliefs upon you. You can be forced to behave or act in certain ways, but no one can control your mind. Unless, of course, you let them. There is no shortage of bullies and abusers and tyrants and manipulators who would like to enslave your body and mind. please, please don't give away that power. So there you have it. These 6 action steps are a nice starting place to learn how to exercise your agency in positive ways, especially when you align your thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors with virtuous values. I'd encourage you to choose the path of virtue, but that choice is, and always will be, entirely up to you.